Assalamu alaikum. So today the topic of discussion is the difference between the skeletal muscle, cardiac muscle and smooth muscle. First we'll go at the skeletal muscle. Skeletal muscle, they are striated, they are voluntary, there is no intercalated disc, there are very rapid contractions, they are multinucleated, they contain troponin C, so they form calcium troponin C complex. They contain T tubules. They have actin. Myosin forms actin and myosin. Actin and myosin combine to form the sarcomere. Then comes the cardiac muscle. Cardiac muscles are striated. They are involuntary. They have intercalated discs separating them as compared to the skeletal muscle. The skeletal muscles have no intercalated discs. They are voluntary muscles. The cardiac muscles are striated. They are transverse striations there, but they are involuntary. There are intercalated discs present, which is a very characteristic feature of the cardiac muscle. Then they are uninucleated as compared to the skeletal muscles. Skeletal muscles are multinucleated, cardiac muscles are uninucleated. There is calcium troponin C complex in the skeletal muscle. There is calcium troponin C complex in the cardiac muscle. The skeletal muscle contain T tubules, cardiac muscle contain T tubules. Skeletal muscle have actin myosin, which forms the sarcomere, and cardiac muscle contain actin and myosin, which forms the sarcomere. There are some differences. The differences between cardiac and skeletal muscle is, first of all, cardiac muscles have intercalated discs and skeletal muscle have no intercalated discs. Second of all, the cardiac muscles are involuntary, skeletal muscles are voluntary. Then the cardiac muscles are multinucleated. The nucleus are located peripherally. In cardiac muscles, nuclei are peripheral. In the skeletal muscle, there is no intercalated disc. They are voluntary muscles. They are multinucleated. Then comes the smooth muscles. Smooth muscles are non-striated, involuntary. All of the things that are present in the cardiac and skeletal muscles, they are absent in the smooth muscles. So there are no striations. They are involuntary. Striated नहीं होते, involuntary होते हैं. No intercalated discs. There is nothing separating the two muscles. Then slow contractions, uninucleated, no striations. Smooth muscles are not striated, they are involuntary, there are no intercalated discs, slow contractions, uninucleated. They are uninucleated, same as the cardiac muscle. Cardiac muscles are also uninucleated, while the skeletal muscles are multinucleated. They do not contain. They do not. The smooth muscle do not contain troponin. Instead, they have calmodulin. So they form calcium calmodulin complex. Smooth muscles contain calmodulin, actin, and myosin. Smooth muscles contain calmodulin. Actin and myosin is not organized into a sarcomere. Again, what I said, the skeletal and cardiac muscles have actin and myosin, which forms the sarcomere complex, while the smooth muscle, actin and myosin is not organized into a sarcomere. Smooth muscles have sustained and slow contractions. Similarity between cardiac and skeletal muscles is transverse striations. I already told you guys that the skeletal muscle and the cardiac muscle, we learned it before, that skeletal muscles are striated, cardiac muscles are striated, and the striations are transverse striations. While in smooth muscles, there are no striations. Smooth muscles have sustained and slow contractions. Similarity between cardiac and skeletal muscle is transverse striation. Skeletal muscle is innervated by the somatic nervous system. Characteristic of smooth muscle, sustained. Again, all of these I have covered in the video. Thanks a lot.